Happy Sentinels Tuesday, everybody. I don't have an intro today. We are taking a look at another hero from Lobotomy Corporation. It's the King of Greed, created by Zarami and Crow. And contrary to what the picture on the box might suggest, King of Greed actually looks like this. It's terrifying. This horrible conglomeration with a giant mouth and a frickin' anglerfish lure with a crying girl's head on the end for a tongue. Yeah. But that's our hero today. The box says, a hero that wished to give everyone happiness, but while seeing everyone's happiness, she herself started to want her own, taking everything, wanting more and more, slowly becoming just a monster fueled by its own greed. King of Greed likes to have a big hand so she can discard it to get better effects for her cards, sometimes even making her own allies discard to help her get more cards, or make a big attack. Choose how much your own greed will drive you before taking it all out. This is a hero with a very interesting playstyle, and in fact, I'm going to give her 2 counters real quick, which will speak to that. We'll discuss those in depth later. King of Greed is going to be climbing the Spire. We had one last boss to fight, and this is when we're doing it. Alongside Rookie Captain Thunder, because we just unlocked him on digital, Thaumaturge Scholar, and Tango 1 created the Sniper, and they'll be fighting in the definitive realm of Discord. So, start of the game, we chose a villain character card, not at random, but because it was the one that's left, you'll find out eventually what it is. We've got all the elites beneath this card. Start of the villain turn, throw at least 3 tokens on this card, move the elites beneath this card in all events in the villain deck and trash from the game, and put the villain character card beneath this card into play and flip the card. Whenever an elite is destroyed or moved from the game, the hero may play an ongoing or equipment card. Gotta remember that. I never ever remember that. Then put a token on this card. At the end of the villain turn, if there are no elites in play, put the top elite beneath this card into play. So, here we go. Falling event. Each player chooses a one-shot, an equipment, and an ongoing in their hand. Each player removes one of the chosen cards from the game at random, return the other cards back to their respective hands. Okay, end of turn, we get our first elite. It is Nemesis. Oh, jeez. Start of the villain turn, if there are no tokens on this card, put a token on this card, otherwise remove one. While there's a token on this card cannot take more than 1 damage each turn. Yeah. And at the villain turn, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP, 6 melee damage. Cripes, that is Captain Thunder. Let's play Ionic Blast and go ahead and start using it. Hit Nemesis for 4, hit himself for 2, draw a card. Scholar is going to know when to hold fast. Tango 1 is getting out, critical hit. Draw a card. If it's a critical card, discard it and a player plays a card. Okay. It is not a critical card, so draw a card. I think we're going to start with Hunger, discarding a number of cards. Each other player may discard a card. King of Greed deals a target X melee damage, where X is the number of cards discarded this way. So we're going to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since we can deal full damage to the Nemesis right now, I figure that's worth it. Her power is the Road of the King. Discard the top card of another deck, draw a card. I guess we'll discard the villain deck. Oh good, it was the Spire growth. We don't want those. Draw a card and draw a card. Realm of Discord plays Explosive Bubbles. When this card will be dealt damage, reduces to 1, and the environment turns, card deals to 3 non-environment targets the highest HP, X energy damage each, where X is this card's HP. It's unfortunately all just heroes. Everybody but Captain Thunder. Alright, start of turn, the Nemesis gets a token. Can't hit him for more than 1 damage a turn. We play Shelled Parasite. When this card enters play, put H plate tokens on it. Use the first damage dealt to this card each turn by X, where X is the number of plate tokens on this card. When this card takes damage, remove a plate token from this card. At the villain turn, this card deals the hero target the highest HP, 3 toxic damage, and regains 3 HP. Nemesis hits the Scholar for 6, and the Shelled Parasite hits Captain Thunder for 3. It's time for Arcing Bolts, which is not going to do a whole lot. We hit Nemesis for 1, we hit the Explosive Bubbles for 1, and we hit the Shelled Parasite for nothing, but that also takes off its damage reduction. So for his power, Ionic Blast, hit it for 4, drop a Shell token, hit himself for 2, draw a card. Need a little more card draw on this team. Keep moving. Fleshed Iron, because I don't care. Play Truth Seeker. I guess I'll go ahead and use Truth Seeker. Hit the Nemesis for 1, draw 2 cards. I think Tango 1 will go with Chameleon Armor. Draw a card. Not a critical card. Draw a card. King of Greed is going to play Strength of a Magical Girl. You and another player draw a card. We will have Captain Thunder draw a card. Each player may discard a card. King of Greed deals a target X melee and X radiant damage, where X is the number of cards discarded this way. Let's see. Scholar can discard a card. We don't really need more than 1 damage happening. I'm going to go ahead and take out the Explosive Bubbles with that. 1 and 1. Power, let's discard the top card of the villain deck. His Masked Bandits, didn't want that. Draw 2 cards. Realm of Discord plays Positive Energy Field. End of the environment turn, the 4 targets lowest HP each regain 2 HP. Well, that sucks, because that's both the villain targets, which we didn't need. Captain Thunder, who admittedly did need it, and Scholar. Alright, the Nemesis loses his token. Spire plays Occultist, not great. Nemesis hits Tango 1 for nothing. Fantastic. Shelled Parasite hits Tango 1. for 3 and heals back to full. Oof. Cultist deals the hero target with the highest HP 1 melee damage. Start of the villain turn, he gets tokens that increase the damage he deals. That is the Scholar, who takes nothing. Alright, Captain Thunder will energize. Everybody heal 1, and he's going to let himself draw a card, because, yeah. Ionic Blast. We do need to get rid of the Nemesis. Hit him for 4, hit himself for 2, draw a card. Start of turn, Scholar discards a card, and then he will Transmutative Recovery, and then he will Truth Seeker, hit Nemesis for 2, draw 2 cards. Alright, time for the Sniper Rifle. She is just going to snipe Nemesis. We remove him from the game. Somebody can play an ongoing or equipment card, and then we put a token on the Spire. I guess we'll put out Static Response. That's worth having out of turn. Draw a card. Now we can start working on the Cultist. King of Greed will wish for more. King of Greed deals any number of targets 1 irreducible melee damage. Draw X cards where X is half the amount of damage dealt this way, rounded down. So she's going to hit the Shelled Parasite, which loses a token, and the Cultist. And that's just 1 card draw, but it was worth it for hitting the Parasite. Power, let's go ahead and discard the top card of the villain deck. Don't think we wanted the Cursed Tome, so that's great. Draw 2 cards. The environment plays Claustrophobic Illusion. Oof. All targets are immune to damage, except the hero and villain targets with the lowest HP. That is unfortunately the Shelled Parasite, Captain Thunder. Spire plays another Cultist. Oh, and the first one gets +2 to its damage. We get another Elite. It's the Gremlin Knob. A Shelled Parasite hits, well, Scholar for nothing and heals back to full. Cultist hits the Scholar for nothing. Cultist hits the Scholar for nothing. After a hero plays a card, if that card dealt no damage, increase the damage dealt by this card by 1. Start of the villain turn, this card deals the 3 heroes the highest HP, 3 melee damage each. Well, this is going to be rough. We gotta get through the Shelled Parasite. I think this is a good time for a Thunder Punch. Hit the Shelled Parasite for no melee damage, and then 2 lightning and 3 sonic, and then power Ionic Blast to drop it. He does in fact hit himself for 2. Draw a card. So now we can fight the first Cultist. Start a turn, discard a card. Let's do Grace Under Fire. Hit that Cultist for 3, and then Truth Secret for 2, and draw 2 cards. Farsight sounds like a good idea. Tango 1 will Sniper Rifle. Hit the Cultist for 2, draw a card. Alright, here's what the counters are for. Greed. At the start of each turn, if you discarded 1 or more cards last turn, King of Greed deals a target X melee damage, where X is the number of cards you discarded last turn. So that will be this first counter, how many cards I've discarded. Resetting at the start of each turn. So let's discard the top card of the villain deck. Why not? That would have been nice, darn. Oh, that was a discard. Draw a card. Start of turn, hit that Cultist for 1. Oh, and draw another card also. Portal Fiend comes out. Alright, reveal the top card of the environment deck. If it's a distortion, put it into play. If not, discard it, and this card regains 4 HP. It is a distortion, buffeting ephemeral winds. Oh, I haven't been paying attention to the Gremlin Knob either. Let's see. That dealt damage. That dealt damage. That didn't. That didn't. That's really gross. Reduce all damage dealt by 1. Well, that's a good time for that to come out. Okay, start of turn, this Cultist gets +2 to its damage. Oh, so does the first one. This hits 3 arrows with the highest for 5, reduced to 4. Scholar takes 2. Tango 1 takes nothing. King of Greed takes 4. And the Spire plays World of Goop event. Each hero may destroy one of their ongoing or equipment cards. Each hero that does not deals themselves 4 toxic damage. Well, shit. Yep, destroy that. Scholar's fine. Tango 1 will take the chance. I'm discarding for Chameleon Armor. She deals herself 4 toxic damage. King of Greed. I just got that out. I want to keep it. Oh, and all that was reduced by 1 also. Alright, end of turn. This Cultist hits the highest for 5, reduced to 4, reduced to 3 against the Scholar. Second Cultist does 3, reduced to 2, reduced to nothing against the Scholar, and that's it. It's time for Charged Field. Reduce damage dealt to hero targets other than Captain Thunder by 2. Speaking of whomst, Ionic Blast. That will take out this Cultist. Because, geez, it's himself for 1. Draw a card. Start of turn, discard a card. Grace Under Fire, hit the Gremlin Knob for 2. And then Truth Seeker him for 1 and draw 2 cards. Tango 1 will Perfect Focus. And then Opportunist to draw 2 cards. +6 to her next damage. So she's hitting the Gremlin Knob for 8 damage. I'm sorry, 7. I definitely miscounted. Draw a card. King of Greed will play Gold Rush. Increase damage dealt by King of Greed by 1. Perfect timing. End of your turn, you may draw a card to discard a card. If you discard a card this way, King of Greed deals a target 1 melee damage. Let's see, Scholar dealt damage. Tango 1 played 2 cards that didn't deal damage. King of Greed has played a card that doesn't deal damage. That's not good. Let's discard the top card of the villain deck. Could be bad. Draw a card. End of turn, I will discard a card. Deal a target only 1 melee damage. But then start of the environment turn, I deal a target 2, 3, reduced to 2, so it's almost dead, but not quite, not great. Oh, you're right, Tango 1's damage is irreducible. Okay, or 1 more. This card deals a non-environment target with the second highest HP, 3, make that 2 psych damage. That is Tango 1, who takes 2 psych damage. Ghostly Images comes out. Destroy all other distortions. Thank goodness. Well, kind of not. That thing's going to be hitting for 11. I don't like that. Reveal the top card of the environment deck. It's a Portal Fiend. That goes in the trash. Reveal the bottom card of each non-environment deck in turn order, starting with the villain deck. If it's a one-shot, put it into play, otherwise discard it. Not a one-shot. I don't know that that deck has any one-shots. No, it has not a one-shot. No one to turn loose. Well, I didn't want that, but that's 6 damage going at the Gremlin Knob, so it's at least gone before it hits us for fucking 9 damage apiece. Who can play a card off of that? I'm gonna have King of Greed do it. Strong Desire. At the end of your turn, you may destroy a non-character hero card. If you do, draw 2 cards. Power is discard a card, play a card. He did not want that to happen. Tango 1 gets Infiltrate. Oh, cool. Let's look at the villain deck. Ooh, a Merchant, and then a Slaver. Okay, well, the Merchant plays the top card of the villain deck anyway, so let's just make sure we get that. Draw a card, she can play a card. Let's go ahead and Psionic Suppression the Cultist, because it's going to be dealing 5 damage here in a second. King of Greed gets a one-shot, Sparkling Strike. You may draw a card or discard a card. If you discard a card this way, increase damage dealt by King of Greed by 1 till the end of the turn, and then she deals a target 2 radiant damage. I think I will just draw a card. We'll do 3 damage to the Cultist. Alright, that's it. Start of turn, Cultist gets +2 damage. And we play the Merchant. Each player may choose one of the following effects. Play an ongoing or equipment card, or reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, put 2 in your hand and discard the others. Play the top card of the villain deck. So, the fun part of that is I think that's what everybody's going to do. Actually, no. Tango 1's going to play Ghost Reactor. I think that actually counts for discards, too. Then we play the top card of the villain deck, which is the Red Slaver. At the villain turn, this card deals a hero target with the highest HP, 3 melee damage, increase damage till the target's dealt damage this way by 1 till the end of the next villain turn. So that is Scholar, who takes 1, has +1 damage taken. And that's it. Captain Thunder, let's see. Oh, that's right. No, actually, he takes no damage because we had -2 damage taken. Too bad we didn't take any damage that round. So Charge Field goes away. Let's put out Lightning Force. Ionic Blast the Cultist. Oh, actually, I forgot to play an Elite. Oh, it's the Giant Head. Increase damage dealt to this card by X, where X is the number of cards played this turn. Start of the villain turn, this card deals each hero 1 psychic damage, then increase damage dealt by this card by 2. I'm sorry, that's increased damage dealt to this card. We do need to take out that Cultist, however. Draw a card. Alright, start of turn, he's actually able to discard a card, and then Scholar will Transmutative Recovery. Power, hit the Cultist for 2, draw 2 cards. And the damage stop wears off, but that's fine, it was great. Let's infiltrate the villain deck again. Yeah, let's not deal with the Transient if we can help it. Actually, wait, no. I'm going to leave the Transient on top. We can discard it. Draw a card. She can play a card. I think I'll just do Opportunist again. Draw 2 cards. With the base 2 + 3 off of Opportunist, I can kill the Cultist. Time to get to work on the head. Draw a card. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do the... I'll throw that 3 damage on this Red Slaver. Or actually, no, let's throw that at the head, just to have a little damage on it. King of Greed will play Ecstasy of Triumph. Discard up to 3 cards, destroy X ongoing or environment cards, and King of Greed gains X HP, or X's number of cards discarded this way. I'm going to discard 2, and we are going to get rid of... Well, actually, I like Ghostly Images. Now let's get rid of it. It screwed me over. Why not? She heals 2. And then we will discard the top card of the villain deck. Oh, look, it's the Transient. We didn't want to fight that anyway. And draw 2 cards. Start of the environment turn. Hit the head for 4, which unfortunately doesn't get the +1 bonus for her card play because that was last turn. Realm of Discord plays some more Explosive Bubbles. That hits the head for 4, Scholar for 1, and King of Greed. Alright, everybody take 1 psychic damage. Gee, Tango 1's immune. Captain Thunder and Scholar both soak it. And then increase damage dealt by that card by 2. And now we have the Spheric Guardian out. Use the first damage dealt this card each turn by 3. Start of the villain turn, it deals 2 hero targets the highest HP, 4 irreducible energy damage each. That's really gross. The Red Slaver hits the highest for 3, that is Scholar, who takes 1, and now he has +1 damage taken. Captain Thunder is going to play Ionized Atmosphere. Let's do Ionic Blast. I played a card so I can hit the head for 5. He hits himself for 1. Draw a card. End of turn. Really, I should Thunder Punch it. Yeah, let's Thunder Punch it. So it's taking +2 damage. So I hit it for 3, 4, and 5, which is 12. Captain Thunder's really gross. Scholar discards a card. And let's do Proverbs and Axioms. Everybody can use the card draws and the healing. He played a card so he can hit the head for 3. Draw 2 cards. I'm going to do 1 shot, 1 kill. I'm going to discard a card and kill the giant head. So somebody can play an ongoing or equipment card. That's a 1 shot. Let's get Static Response back out. How about that? Put a token on that. When we hit the start of the villain turn, the Spire will flip. Alright, she has, as I have been reminded, irreducible damage, so let's aim at the Guardian Sphere. That's a critical card. 5 projectile damage. Draw a card. Aha! Fixation. Draw a card. Search your deck and trash for an ongoing or equipment card. Put it into play. If you search your deck this way, shuffle it. You may discard a card. If you do, you may draw 2 cards or play a card. Awesome. This is good, because there's a card I want to find. That's the one. Fragment of Bliss. Whenever you discard a card, reduces next damage dealt to a hero target by a non-hero target by 1. At the end of your turn, you may draw a card or discard a card. If you discard a card, another player may draw a card. I'm going to go ahead and discard a card and play a card, I think. Go ahead and discard a card, so that's what the second counter is for. Off of that, I'll play the Road of Gold, discarding number of cards. King of Greed deals up to X targets 1 melee and 1 irreducible radiant damage each, where X is 1 plus the number of cards discarded this way. I'm going to discard 3 cards. So that was 3 cards discarded. Up those counters. 3 targets, 2 melee, and 2 irreducible radiant damage. So that'll be 1 and actually 2 to the bubbles. Nothing and 2 to the Spirit Guardian. And 4 to the Slaver. Power, let's discard that villain deck. Draw 2 cards. Start of turn, 5/6 melee damage to the Slaver. I'm sad I didn't kill it. Pervasive Frailty, increase all damage by 1. Good time for that, I'm sure. Alright, start of the villain turn. We remove the elites from beneath that card. All events from the villain deck and trash. And then the new villain comes into play. Oh yeah, it flips to essentially nothing, so we will just bring the Time Eater in and put it on top in its place. So, Lord of Time. Search the Time Eater deck for haste, put it into villain trash, shuffle the rest of the Time Eater deck into the villain deck. Oh darn, and all the discards I've been doing off of the villain deck mean that it's... because I thought it shuffled in, but it doesn't. So we'll be getting that a little bit closer, a little bit sooner. After a hero card enters play, put a token in Time Eater's pool. When there are 8 tokens in the time pool, he flips. Start of the villain turn, if Time Eater is below 45 HP, search the villain trash for haste and put it into play. End of the villain turn, Time Eater deals each hero target 2 psychic damage. So that's not great, but okay. This is the start of the villain turn. So, he's not below 45 HP, so let's just play a card. Ripple, increase damage dealt to hero targets by 1. Reduce damage dealt by hero targets by 1. Start of the villain turn, destroy this card. Well, heck. Okay, everybody take 3, 4, 5? No, 4. Oh, it's psychic damage. Tango 1 doesn't give a shit. Scholar takes 3, Captain Thunder takes 3, and we'll do 2 lightning damage to the Red Slaver. Goodbye, mister, we don't need you. Oh, actually, Scholar only took 2. Okay, it's time to energize. Everybody heal 1. Clearly we need it. And he'll let himself draw a card. I'm actually going to use his base power. We'll destroy static response because I just got another one. He regains 2 HP and deals a target 2. Make that 3, make that 2 lightning damage. Draw a card. End of turn. Play static response. Alright, Scholar discards a card. Transmutative Recovery. And then we will Truth Seeker him for actually 2 and draw 2 cards. Tango 1's got a Psionic Suppression, so let's go ahead and do that. Just lock him down for a little bit. She's going to hit him for 2 irreducible projectile damage. Draw a card. Well, that's right, it's every time we play a card. Also, one of those should have been reduced by 5. We'll say King of Greed did not take the 5 damage. So let's see. Captain Thunder played 2 cards. Scholar played a card, Tango 1 played a card. Okay, how many cards can you chain? Fixation. And this is when a card enters play. Draw a card. Let's go searching for an ongoing or equipment card. Well, I have one choice. It is Aurum Amber, which is the card I removed from the game at the start of the game. I can discard a card to draw 2 cards or play a card. Well, first, this says at the start of your turn, you may destroy this card if you don't draw a card. Reduce damage dealt to and by King of Greed by 1. It's actually not too bad. Oh, Fragment of Bliss is not limited. I kind of don't want to keep track of that. Also, we get to see what this card does. Alright, so that entered play. I will discard a card so I can play a card. Discard that and play Hope. Choose 1. Draw 4 cards, or discard 3 cards, and each player draws 2 cards. I'm highly tempted to discard 3 cards. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Screw it. That's 3 to each of the counters. Everybody draw 2 cards. Power. I'm going to use Strong Desire. Discard a card, play a card. We will discard a card and play Hope. That's the 8th token in the time pool, so he flips. Time is up. And flip to the side immediately into the current turn. Oh, poop. Remove all tokens from the time pool. Immediately perform a full villain turn regardless of the current turn order. When the villain turn is proceed, play proceeds to the turn after the turn that was interrupted by Time Eater flipping. Increase damage dealt by villain targets by 2. So this goes into play and it ends up not being resolved. Alright, so remove all the tokens from the time pool, and he gets to have a turn. So first we destroy Ripple, which that's good. And then he plays an Acid Slime. Could be worse, although we are increasing damage dealt by villain targets by 2. For the moment. So yeah, he deals each hero target no sonic damage, then flips back. Acid Slime deals a hero target with the highest HP 3 toxic damage. That is Scholar, who takes 1. I'm sorry, 2, because it's increased by 1. And so now we move... Actually, at the start of the villain turn is when this would go off. Hit Time Eater for 5, actually 6. No, actually 5. Also, this prevented all the damage dealt to the Scholar. Oi! So now it is the environment turn. Time flies. Oh no, that's not a card you want when you're fighting against a Time Eater. When this card enters play, destroy all other distortions. Heroes may play an additional card during their play phase and draw an additional card during their draw phase. End of the environment turn, play the top card of the villain deck. Head Slam. Time Eater deals the hero target with the highest HP, twice H, melee damage. Hero dealt damage this way, cannot draw cards till start the next villain turn. Well, that's okay, he deals no damage instead. This is what you get for taking extra turns, you idiot. Reverberate. Time Eater deals the 3 hero targets with the highest HP, no sonic damage. And then he deals no damage. And then the Acid Slime hits the highest for 3, which is actually the Scholar who actually takes 1. We can play 2 cards and draw 2 cards. We might not want to do that because we're going to power him up. Alright, Captain Thunder will start with Shock and Awe. Hit Time Eater for 3. Everybody else draw a card because King of Greed needs it. Power. I'm going to use his base power again. We're going to destroy Ionic Blast because I can replace it finally. He regains 2 HP and deals a target 2 lightning damage. Hit the Time Eater. Oh, I did actually want to play a second card, so Thunder Punch, 6 damage as well. Draw 2 cards, and then end of turn you can play another card. Let's do Thunderclap. Fortunately, I can't quite get that many. Although wait, that's when they enter play. Okay, start of turn. Let's discard a card, and then let's do Don't Dismiss Anything. This will do it. So, who do I not care about? Or no, everybody gets to do this. Let's do King of Greed first. Let's go reverse turn order. Fixation, alright. Draw a card. This might do it all by itself. I get an ongoing or equipment card. I get another Fragment of Bliss. So whenever I discard a card, we reduce the next damage dealt to a hero target by a non-hero card by 2. I can discard a card to play a card. I will not. Oh no, I can discard a card to draw 2 cards. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say we're okay if Captain Thunder doesn't get a card play. So yeah, Perfect Focus. Increase her next damage by 3. I can play a card. If I do, that'll end this. I'm going to play Line Him Up, which flips him. So that ends Scholar's turn. Start of the villain turn, King of Greed will hit Time Eater for 1. That wasn't much of a Don't Dismiss Anything, but that happens, I guess. You know, what happened is usually Scholar is here for shenanigans. The villain just out-shenaniganed him. Alright, so he plays Head Slam, he deals no damage and flips back, and the Slime hits the Scholar for 1. And now it is Tango 1's turn, and the Time Eater can deal damage again. Let us be more judicious with our card plays now, please. Damn Good Ground, she heals 2, we try and hit the Time Eater, that's 3. We try and hit the Slime, that is also 3. Power, hit the Time Eater 4, 5 irreducible projectile damage, draw a card. She's almost through her deck. Okay, I'm going to keep the Aurum Amber out for a little bit. It's not as big a downside as I was worried about. I am not playing that 3rd Fragment of Bliss. Fuck that. King of Greed will play the Road of Gold again. Deals up to X targets 1 melee and 1 irreducible radiant damage each. X is 1 plus the number of cards discarded this way. So I only need to discard 2 cards for this, and we'll do that. So it's 1 melee and still 2 irreducible radiant damage because it's irreducible. 3 to both of them. The Acid Slime puts the top card of the villain deck face down in the villain play area. Treating it as a copy of this card, except its maximum HP is equal to this card's current HP. So that gives us another Slime. Power, I don't want to play extra cards. Let's go ahead and discard the top card of the... Actually, no, let's discard the top card of Tango 1's deck. Draw 2 cards. Ooh, that goes through her deck. End of turn, I can draw a card or discard a card. I will discard a card. She deals a target 2 melee damage, or 1 melee damage. Let's hit the Time Eater. Oh wait, is it X plus 1? Oh, it is 1 plus. Okay, so yeah, I actually hit that Slime for 3, so let's throw that 1 damage at the second Slime. Boy, I sure could have used that. I can destroy a non-character hero card to draw 2 cards. I'm very tempted by that. I'm actually going to destroy the Fragment of Bliss, because keeping track of 2 of them is difficult. Draw 2 cards. And then I can draw a card to discard a card. If I discard a card, another player may draw a card. I'm going to just draw a card. Start of the environment turn. Oh yeah, she should have drawn an extra card, so should Tango 1. Should have played an extra card too. I can't remember anything. Start of the environment turn, she deals 4 damage. Let's take out the Slime. It's worth doing. And Realm Discord plays Time Crawls. During the turn, each player must skip either their player power phase, skip the first end of turn effect that would happen during the villain turn. Oh, I like that, because that's his area damage. Alright. Reverberate. He hits the 3 highest for 3 sonic damage each. The first one is reduced by 10. That'll be Captain Thunder. No, actually, that'll be Tango 1, I guess. Just, it's a certain thing. Scholar takes 1, Captain Thunder takes 2, and he hits back for 1 lightning and 1 sonic damage. End of turn, the Time Eater doesn't get to do anything. I feel like that should have 2 more tokens on it. Or at least 1 more token. Alright, Thunder will play Storm Strike. We'll go ahead and use that. Or actually, I guess we won't use that. Yeah, we have to skip his power phase. Draw a card. End of turn, I will neither play or draw a card. Ionized Atmosphere will go off and hit him for 2 lightning damage and a sonic damage. Scholar will Offensive Transmutation. I like it when the villain can't deal damage. And then he skips his power and draws his last card. Tango 1 will skip her play phase. 2 damage, increase to 5 against the Time Eater. Draw a card. Alright, start of my turn, I will destroy the Aurum Amber, because I want the extra damage. Because we're going to play Overwhelming Luster. Discard up to 4 cards. King of Greed deals a target 2 melee damage X times, where X is the number of cards you discarded this way. So it's 2, 3 times 4, that's 12 damage. This feels very fair against the Time Eater. She skips her power, she draws a card. End of turn, I will draw a card off of Gold Rush, and draw a card off the Fragment of Bliss. Start of the environment turn, she then deals 5 damage to the Time Eater. The environment plays the Oracle of Discord. Oh boy. When this card enters play, one player may place their hero character card with a variant of that hero and set its HP to max. If none do, this card deals each target 2 psychic damage. Yeah, we're going to swap Captain Thunder out because I hate this variant so much. I'm going to go for base Captain Thunder for maximum cheese. So yeah, he's back to 32 hit points. We're near the end of the game. Reveal cards from the deck of the play area with the target with the lowest HP, which is King of Greed. Until an ongoing equipment or non-target environment card is revealed, put it into play, shuffle the other revealed cards into their deck. So that's not going to work. Yeah, we get a limited card. It's already in play, so nothing happens. Alright, Time Eater is below 45 HP, so we search the villain deck for haste and put it into play. Time Eater has more than 45 HP, he does not. Restore him to 45 HP. Cool, whatever. Destroy 4 hero ongoing and equipment cards, then remove this card from the game. Remove that card from the game. And we get the Chosen! At the end of each hero's turn, if no damage was dealt that turn, that player discards a card. Stuff. So, end of the villain turn, well, that's skipped anyways, but that's fine. This card deals the hero target with the highest HP, 3 infernal damage, that is Captain Thunder, who will hit it back for a lightning and a sonic damage. Okay, we are still skipping play or power. I will play Ionized Atmosphere, skip his power, end of his turn, and don't forget that we're getting close to giving him an extra turn. End of turn, I will draw a card, and he dealt no damage, so he has to discard a card. Alright, let's discard a card. I think Scholar's just going to know when to hold fast, and then he discards a card because he dealt no damage. That's fine. Tango 1 will play the Sniper Rifle, skip her power phase, draw a card, and discard a card. Well, if King of Greed plays a card... Oh, and this is worn off. I actually should have flipped him earlier. Shoot. I forgot who did that. Oh well. King of Greed will play a card, which flips the Time Eater. Alright, so we shuffle the villain trash into its deck, play the Spirit Guardian. You know what's fun? She doesn't have to discard a card because she didn't get a turn. So it deals no damage, it flips back. Actually, when it flips back, I should be still having it hit everybody, but you know what? This is the first time it's been able to deal any damage. It hits Captain Thunder for 1, and Captain Thunder will hit the Chosen for 1 and 1. Speaking of, the Chosen hits Captain Thunder for 2, and the Spirit Guardian does nothing. And now is the environment turn. Miasma of Pain comes out, thank goodness. The environment turn deals a bunch of damage. Okay, who's got the lowest HP? Is it the villain? Of course it is. We're looking for an ongoing equipment or non-target environment card. You know, obviously there aren't any of those. It's Ripple, so we get +1 damage taken, -1 damage dealt. Deal the 4 non-environment targets the highest HP, 2 infernal damage each. That is the Time Eater. Captain Thunder, who takes a full 2. Static response does not go off. Tango 1, who takes nothing. And Scholar, who takes 1. Boy, that was the environment turn? Well, the good news is Ripple goes away, but not before Spirit Guardian does its thing. It hits Captain Thunder for 5, so he can do actually no damage because Ripple hasn't gone away. It hits Tango 1 for nothing, thank goodness. Alright, and he plays the Transient. Well, shit. Reduce damage dealt by this card by the amount of damage this card has taken since the end of the last villain turn. Start of the villain turn, put a token on this card, and this card deals the hero with the highest HP 4 times X infernal damage, where X is the number of tokens on this card. Then if there are 3 tokens on this card, we move this card from the game. So if we can deal with it for 3 rounds, it'll go away. Time Eater hits everybody for 2. That hits Captain Thunder, and now he can actually hit the Chosen for 1 and 1. Chosen hits the highest, that is Tango 1, who takes nothing, and that's it. Okay, there's not a whole lot of weird stuff happening right now, which is strange. I don't know how to deal with it. Shock and Awe. Captain Thunder deals a target 3 lightning damage. I'm really on that Chosen. Everybody else draw a card. Outright, and he can ping the Time Eater for 1. Power, Storm Strike. The Chosen 1 for 3. Draw a card. End of his turn, I'm going to play Implacable Resolve and make him immune to damage. It's no token in the time pool. He doesn't have to discard a card. Scholar discards a card. I'm going to play Bring What You Need and use that. Draw a card. Then he has to discard a card because he didn't deal any damage. That's fine. Okay, let's save this for when that's dealing 12 damage. Tango 1 is going to play Damn Good Ground. She hits the Time Eater for 1. She hits the Chosen for 1. Damn it. And she hits the Spirit Guardian for 1. Well, at least it got through. Power, she's just going to take out the Chosen. Draw a card. I definitely forgot to reduce some damage at some point. King of Greed will wish for more. King of Greed deals any number of targets 1 irreducible melee damage. Draw X cards, where X is half the amount of damage dealt this way rounded down. So it's actually 2 irreducible. So she can actually draw 4 cards. Power, let's discard the top card of, I don't know, the environment deck. Draw 2 cards. End of turn, I will discard a card. So she can deal a target 2 melee damage. It's Time Eater. And then, I'll discard another card so Captain Thunder can draw a card. Start of the environment turn, she will deal 4 melee damage to the Time Eater. And the environment plays reversed gravity. Well, good. Oh, this makes us discard cards. Well, heck. Lowest is, of course, the villain. Let's see if we can find an ongoing. There might not be any. There are none. Oh, when a target enters play, deal it 2 melee damage. Who wants to bet? I forget that. End of the environment turn, the 3 players with the most cards in hand each discard a card. Well, you know what? That's everybody but Captain Thunder, which is good for the King of Greed. Start of the villain turn, haste is not in the villain trash. The Spirit Guardian hits Tango 1 for 4, and Captain Thunder for nothing. And then the Transient deals 4 damage to Captain Thunder, who is immune. The villain plays the Merchant. Oh, sweet. We do not want to play cards, so everybody reveal the top 4 and put 2 in your hand. Let me play the top card of the villain deck. It's the Shelled Parasite. It gets hit for no melee damage. Okay, end of turn. Everybody take 2 psychic damage. First one's reduced by 6. That's going to King of Greed. Tango 1 is immune. Scholar soaks it. Captain Thunder is also immune. Good job, buddy. You tried. The Shelled Parasite hits the highest for 3, and that's still Captain Thunder, who, at the start of his turn, regains 2 HP and destroys that card. I'm going to play another Thunderclap. Let's go ahead and take out the Spirit Guardian. Storm Strike it for no melee, 2 lightning damage, and 1 sonic damage, dropping it. And I can also hit the Time Eater for 1. Draw a card. End of his turn, let's play Arcing Bolts, and hit everything for 2. Well, except for the Shelled Parasite. Alright, I do not want to do Don't Dismiss Anything right now. Let's see, discard a card, start of Scholar's turn, play Truth Seeker, whack the Time Eater for 2, and draw 2 cards. Alright, Tango 1 does not get a turn. She will play a card, which does not get resolved. Time Eater flips. Alright, start of turn. At some point, King of Greed should have dealt 3 damage to the Time Eater. I forgot about that. Start of turn, the Transient gets a token. Hits the highest for 8. Whoops. That's Captain Thunder, who takes 7. And then he will do a Lightning to the Time Eater, and a Sonic to the Shelled Parasite, and another Sonic to the Shelled Parasite, which actually gets through. Time Eater plays the Red Slaver, which gets hit for 2. End of turn, everybody take 4 Sonic damage. No reduction. Tango 1 takes nothing. Scholar takes 2. Captain Thunder takes 3, and he'll hit the Time Eater for 1 lightning damage. Then the Time Eater flips back. Shelled Parasite hits Tango 1 for nothing and heals back to full. Red Slaver hits Tango 1 for nothing. Cool, and now it's the King of Greed's turn, in case you were having trouble keeping track. I think it's time to end the game. Hunger. I will discard... Okay, are there any of these cards I want to keep? I'm going to keep 1 card, discard the rest of her cards. So that's 7. Everybody else can discard a card. Okay, so that's 10, 11 melee damage to the Time Eater. Power, let's discard the top card of the villain deck. Sure. Draw 2 cards. End of turn, I will discard a card. She deals a target 2 melee damage, the Time Eater, and then I'll draw a card off of Fragment of Bliss. Start of the environment turn, King of Greed deals 10 melee damage to the Time Eater, and we win. Let's take a look at the rest of King of Greed's deck, assuming there are any cards that he didn't play. Consuming Desire. Each player may discard a card. Whenever a card is discarded this way, you may draw a card, or King of Greed regains 2 HP. Didn't really need that. And that's the only card I did not play. So, that is the Spire, full and truly defeated. There is a 4th boss, but it's only for the challenge mode, and I don't want to fight it. So you're never seeing that again. But yeah, King of Greed, really cool, very fun way to implement a discard-heavy hero, and I really enjoy playing her. You can find her on Project Moon Sentinels. You can find Thaumaturge Scholar on Adelphaphage's Archives. You can find the Time Eater on Zontan's custom decks. So that's it for this one. That's all for this one. Thank you for watching. Thanks everybody for coming to chat. It was a lot of fun talking with you guys. If you would like to come to chat and join in the fun with all these people watching these videos get recorded live, please follow me on Twitch at Kate S. Walker. If you would like to have one of your decks featured in one of these videos, please post it in one of my proofreading threads on Steam or Board Game Geek. Links will be in the description of the video. And yeah, I know I'm very behind on proofreading, but life is hard, okay? As always, Tabletop Simulator 3% call them DLC, Project Moon Sentinels, Zontan's custom decks, and Adelphaphage's Archives, and all that great games products. Please support the official release, and flip.